Okay. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is BLB, Bill's Live Broadcast. And yes, it is that time again. And you know who we have on today if you've been following. First of all, a couple of things, okay, folks? What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to click below, share, and follow. And then you give a little wowie face if you really enjoy what's going on. We're going to be talking with Zorica today, folks. And as I mentioned, if you've been following the posts and the announcements, you'll know that this individual is awesome, all right? Zorica is was the Fitness Best Asia Award winner for female personal trainer. But her story is even so much more than that. So I'm going to bring her on right now to introduce Zorica. Oh, yes, one more thing. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in below, and we'll all know about it, okay? So here we go. Where is Zorica? How you doing, Zorica?
Hello, Bill. I'm here and very exciting. Thank you.
Zorica.
Thank you for introducing me in such an awesome manner.
Well, you deserve it. I mean, my goodness, you won the award. So let me just ask you something though. When you won the personal trainer award, is that like your forte? Because I note that you're into martial arts as well. So which one is your number one? Your personal training or your martial arts? And we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay. It is kind of intermingled because I'm doing martial arts because I like it, and then people ask me to train them one-on-one. Hong Kong is a very busy place, and not too many people can make it to regular classes. So it ended up being, okay, one-on-one or a small group, and then they're going to complement it with the group classes. But the personal training has started, I would say, a little bit longer, or I don't know how to put it. Maybe alongside with it. Mm-hmm. I like training myself, and I took a keen interest in body as such. I think it's an amazing machine that can be modeled at any age and at any stage. And other people always say, oh, can we, get a tip of this and that? And I say, all right. And then I'll say, why don't I make some career out of it? I'm actually an economist. By trade.
Whoa, you're actually an economist? Okay, let's go there.
I'm a BA in economics. I used to work in commodity trading back in London.
Okay, and wait. Don't even move from that parking lot. So explain, how did you become, are you still involved in economy, being a trader? Or have you changed completely now?
No, it's just, after having my daughter, mm-hmm. Going to work after 3 months, etc., just didn't feel fun. So I just transferred my hobby and love for sport and movement and fitness into a career. So I will go and teach a couple of clients, get back, feed my daughter, get back, teach a few clients, and that's how it is. I didn't really start in office afterwards.
Why did you change, Zorica? Okay, what made you change from being an economist to the fitness industry? What was it? Because you still have your children, right? Your daughter. And so the same, right. So hopefully, send her off, go to the Mars. Okay. But you actually have the same responsibilities, because a lot of women out there are going to say to themselves, well, look, I can't get involved. I can't do something for my body, or I can't get involved in a career, but yet you still maintain that. So what message would you have for women out there who either want to take on the challenges that you have in terms of like fitness or helping other people, even though they have a family?
Bill, it's all about finding these extra 10 or 15 minutes. I didn't manage to go to gym straight away, but I will pick up my daughter, put her in a carrier at my chest, and then I will just go at the fire exit and go up and down the steps, 10 floors, 15 floors, and I will lunge up the steps, and then I will get in the corridor, lay down, pick up the daughter in my hand, and I will do like little push-ups with the baby, and I will move my knees in, I'll rock it back and forth, and she liked it, I liked it, and then each time I took a trolley out, Old Peak Road in Hong Kong is pretty steep, so I will put the trolley right in front of me, pushing, extending the hand, and we'll pull it, and we lunge, then we push it. So, it's a lot of work there. And that was my fitness. I don't want to brag, but it's doable. It's doable. because, from, breastfeeding really and cleaning, and you got to find some sort of physical work to actually burn those calories. And I slept when baby slept, and I was awake when baby was awake. And I breastfed her almost a year.
That's interesting. So, Zorica, you actually bonded with your daughter then. It wasn't just about having her come along because no one else was there. Can you share a little bit about that, how it was actually important to you and your relationship with your daughter?
Busy women are all swarmed up, obviously, with responsibilities to the child first, and then going back to work, and then you have family, and you obviously have a husband, etc. So for me, it was just trying to fit in the most functional way. Amelia has brought a lot of happiness to me. I was looking at like little wonder. I was quite excited actually washing her and cleaning her and then playing with her. And I didn't have anybody here. I'm coming from Serbia. My stepmother and father are still in Serbia. I didn't have anybody in Hong Kong. I just got in. I didn't have too many friends. My husband is a really busy guy. He had like 300 hotel nights a year, job-wise. So it was a little bit lonely. So I had that kid in front of me that fully depended on me. And also, I know if I don't look after myself, then who's going to look after the baby? So it was kind of interconnected. I would say, go with the flow. I didn't think too much about it. I was just, doing it.
Excellent.
And I say, I am a little bit of a narcissist. I couldn't stand the pudgy or hanging skin and whatever women experience, I know. Trust me, Bill, the very first day when I looked at my tummy postpartum, it was just this mass of skin hanging out, everything bloated. You just lose like 15 pounds, 20 pounds in one go. And it is a big shock for the body.
Okay,
so I was,
Talk to women about that, Zorica, because I know that many women, like clients of my own, they have it's quite a psychological shock postpartum when they, as you mentioned, you have the sagging skin and these types of things. And many times people feel as if they have to give up. What would you say to them in those situations after pregnancy, because you've gone through it?
Okay. I was in there. I will admit I was slightly depressed because I've always been in a beautiful body business. I competed. I liked everything tight and muscular and toned and nothing out. So for me, it was also a shock. Hey, what the hell is going on in here? This is just a blob. I have no control of it. But actually, everybody has a control of it. It just depends of one's determination and discipline to do it. It is a lot of going in the mind of the woman. And I'm starting from myself. I was very concerned. First, I'm concerned whether my husband's going to like me because this is, different body in there. Also, there is a lot of work around the baby. There are sleepless nights. There are other stuff that goes on in a house. And I trained a lot of women who just had babies, and there is a lot of depression and concern going on about. It is really hard. I cannot present it to a male person. It is very hormonal also. So most of them were concerned, I really want to lose weight. I can't. And then depression hits on extra, and then is the fatigue. And it's just like an endless cycle. So
what do you do about that?
My answer to it, yeah.
You mentioned
my answer to was, you have to just relax, because it takes a little bit of time for body to obviously settle. And then you just with that relaxation already have it in positive flow of good hormones and then you start doing a little excursions with that baby. Look at that baby as the way of positive energy channeling and it's something that's going to help you achieve what you plan. Just training with the baby and losing the weight in the manner that is not invasive, that you're not stressed up. The more stressed up you are, the worse is going to be. So adjust the food, move a little bit more, and just be happy. Because as soon as we turn into unhappy person, you invite a negative energy, and everything is just moving on the other side. The husband is unhappy because everybody ends up being grunging and grumbling, and then there is depression, and then the baby starts crying because it feels all of that negativity around, and it's just like a bottomless pit. I had fun with my kid, but I did work hard. And every spare moment, I'll pick her up or move up. I will go into the fire exit and I will walk up and down the steps. I will curl with my shopping bags and will lift baby about. And of course, the food is also an issue. Generally, one has to eat healthier because one has to breastfeed the baby if woman can, providing there is no some issues there. But the support of the spouse is very important, and also a lot of personal discipline and convincing oneself and belief in oneself that it is a part of life that we have to deal with. Women are meant to have babies. Women are meant to recover, and everything will take its own course. It takes about, I would say, year of settling, I would say, into one remotely similar oneself before pregnancy, because body will change.
So that's interesting. You said that it takes about a year before your body settles. But what about the mind? Because you mentioned that depression is a real concern with women post-pregnancy. And then you mentioned about how they need to just relax and understand the beauty of bringing a new life into the world. So we know that the body can actually adjust quite quickly. What about with your clients and the people that you've dealt with, and even with yourself? How fast or what can someone do in terms of adjusting with their psychology, the depression, the anxiety that they go through?
I got in connection with ladies who also had babies through Mothers Group. That network of support is very important, because I don't want to be horrid towards the guys and the spouses, etc. You have a lovely people, they can support, but one still doesn't understand what's going on in one's body, because only women can. And hence sharing with the ladies and then talking about their experiences, it does help. Women do congregate and they do share a little bit more than guys. And of course, certainly there is a family support that plays a huge role. How is home organized? Is there any help with the baby? Is the baby healthy? It is a lot of different factors that play how one is going to recover. If you have a sickly baby and problems with that, and then you're rushing from doctor to the left and right, that's another extra strain. I know, because Amelia, my daughter is Amelia, she had a severe jaundice, almost on the borderline for the therapy, and it was always every second day taking her for checkups, etc. And it was a little bit trying. You know, there is a story I haven't shared with anybody, publicly, but our daughter is a part of the twin, and we lost the twin about 6 months through. So that was another pressure to keep actually child that is the only remaining one there. It was like a candle that you're just looking, that flame sits there and is all right. So that was even more precious, and actually more, I would say, trying, looking after it. So there are people outside who have a lot of problems with a child. Maybe they couldn't conceive, and then the child came out and might have some problems with the health. And it is hard. But I said the family and the women's support groups is very important. That was very important to me. It helped me, I have to say. That's a personal experience.
So can I ask you, Zorica, and you're perfectly free not to go into detail. You mentioned that Amelia was one of a twin. Was Amelia's twin born, or was it stillbirth? Well,
when I got the last ultrasound checkup, a doctor said that their baby is not responding. There is no heartbeat. And I panicked what's going to happen, obviously, to Amelia, but they're fraternal twins. So they left Amelia's sister in. And then when Amelia was born, that was cleared up as well. And it took some getting used to, especially when the news came in. It was whether to just fall apart or be calm, because there is another remaining twin in there and one has to keep the wits and for the sake of that twin. And then trust me, Bill, for reminding of 3 months, I think I was poked and probed every week for comparison, and I never found out what's happened. And when contractions started, and they had to really knock me out fast because she was very upset in coming out, and I had to have an emergency cesarean, I went to sleep with worry. What is going to happen? It is very hard, I have to say. That was hard. I mean, it took me quite a few years to get over it. But, you have one life that is dead, that is perfect. She's worth for two, bless her. And everything we do is for her now. So my story is not only one. There are people with a lot of other worst case scenarios, but I think I experienced all that bit.
Well, that's what's beautiful.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said that's what's beautiful. Even though other people would have gone through the same challenges that you did, you're a leader and you're sharing it. And we all appreciate you sharing it because, as you mentioned just now, it's important to have support of other women. Sometimes it's difficult with men. Support of other women so that they can go ahead, and it's like that rippling effect whereby when you share your story, individuals will hear your story and then you can help them. And I think that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. And thank you, Zarica, for sharing that, Sherry, because I know that it must be very, very difficult about Amelia's sister. Let me change subjects a little bit. Let's get off of that.
But a happier note.
Pardon? Yeah, that's okay. But thank you very much for sharing that one part, because that means a lot. That shows the depth. And folks, if you're coming in just now, if you're looking at the replay, this is BLB, this is Bill's live broadcast, and we have Zarica King on here, and she's sharing a lot of things about herself. She's talking about how we must support each other in terms of women out there, and she's going to be talking about a lot of other things. And Zarica, so question for you. You got involved into Krav Maga. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, it is a very, I would say, throaty word. Is Krav Maga. It is.
Okay, wait. Say that was cool. Say that again. How did you say it?
Krav Maga. You have to have that little on the back, Okay. It
Krav
is.
Maga. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Krav Maga. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Do that. That is so cool. Krav Maga, and it sounds so much better, also, as opposed to Krav Maga.
Shalom to you. It is Hebrew for contact combat.
I'm sorry, it's Hebrew for what?
It is Hebrew for contact combat. Contact combat.
So, tell us, how did you get involved in the Krav Maga? Because of course we have UFC out there. You have, the ultimate, all these other kind of contact sports things. But you got involved in Krav Maga. Why?
I was around a fitness conferences. I forgot which one was it. And one of the attendants was in protective detail of Prime Minister of India. And we were just chatting around and said, oh, you guys might be, very skilled in what you're doing, I said, oh, yeah, we are doing Krav Maga. I said, I heard about it, but I actually never experienced it. I never tried it because I did karate, I did judo, I did jiu-jitsu a bit. My dad was policeman, so I had that. Kickboxing, the boxing. I was always in a rough stuff to horror of my dad because, the girls shouldn't do things like that. So, I said, oh, how interesting. And unfortunately, we don't have that in Asia. And he said, oh, yeah, we do if you count Israel. I said, okay, I will put you with my master trainer if you want to, because he's looking to spread the skill around. I said, okay, he's gone. I'm gone. And then actually after a week, there was a phone call to me from Israel, and there is a master trainer calling me. Said, oh, I heard you interested. And they sent me looking for openings. And that is how it started. So I went to Israel. I stayed in his house. We used guns, knives. I don't want to now drop up, the hand combats, the basics stuff. So I sitting there being trained by these guys, being black and blue, and it all turned out fine. And then I did a couple of courses and then started working on it. I said, why don't I bring it to Hong Kong, really? And in 2008, we set up the very first, like a general public seminar, like a workshop. And it was VIP protection course or third-party protection. And from that, a few people got interested, and then I put a few friends of mine with the martial arts background and other interests through an instructor's course, and we had the base, and from that on, we started teaching classes. There are a few clubs around, and I was the main queen bee for Asia.
Were you the only woman? For example, first of all, you said that you got a call from Israel. You went and studied with a master trainer, and they beat you black and blue. Were you the only woman there? And after that, when you went to Hong Kong, were you the only trainer there when you went there?
I was training one-on-one with a master trainer. I was training in one-on-one with him. I stayed in his house and I trained one-on-one. And in Hong Kong, I was the only instructor, a female instructor. I'm the highest ranking female instructor in Asia up to date. So hopefully we're going to have more ladies. It is interesting with Asia, looking at the cultural setup for any type of physical activity or perception of what woman is supposed to do. Is having close contact with males in the fighting is not very ladylike here. And then a lot of times at the beginning in the classes, we will all start the general punches, kicks, and everything is fine. But once the close contact start, the late releases, and when there is now grabbing, dropping down, the ladies didn't like it, and they will leave en masse. They don't like the straight. They don't like bruising. If you do the knife defenses, you need to block. And of course, you're going to get some bruise there and then. So it was a bit challenging. Now I have 2/3 in the class of the girls, which is quite good. I'm happy because it's been, now for Hong Kong, almost nine years. And I have to say that the times changed, that the Krav Maga is out there. When I launched in 2008 is mid of financial crisis. It's just nobody had any money, but it took off. And,
why?
I'm happy.
Can I ask you something? Zorica, for Krav Maga, why did you choose Krav Maga and why did you teach it to women? Were they competing? Were they trying to do some other things? What was your ultimate aim in teaching them?
Krav Maga is a reality based self-defense system. Is not a martial art. It's a based martial arts because we don't have any rules. There is no competition in Krav Maga. Of course, you get in the ring, the first thing you do, you kick guys between the legs and poke his eye or spit in the face or pinch his nipple or bite his ear. I mean, this is just like fun. But in general, is anything goes. So we cannot have competition. It is a survival skill. It is so applicable and is mind-blowing. The longer I'm in it, I just see this is like a bulletproof. Sometimes when we have new students, they said, oh, how you get out of these and these, and what if I do these and these? And I said, okay, you're going to do that. Bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, really? It is an amazing skill to have because you can get out a situation, whether you're sitting, laying down, you are prone from front, side, back, with any cold, hot weapons, edged weapons. You can protect somebody else. It is getting so good. I mean, it's so applicable that even all the special units are now all over the world switching to Krav Maga. It's a law enforcement as well, all of the VIP security agencies, etc. It is a skill that is necessary not only for women, I say for everybody, because unfortunately, world is not getting safer. It is very sad to say. But I say in the process of learning it, you get very fit. And if you don't need to use it, even better. But if you do, then you know how to do it. And it's perfect. And it gives self-confidence. And what I get from it is it makes you calmer because you know that you can control situation and prevent any escalation. It's all about prevention.
Right, prevention. So, Zorica, let me, because just before our talk, I actually found something which is very interesting, and I'd like to get your feedback on this because you were talking about protection, and you're saying that it's very empowering and whatnot. Now, this was just recently. It says that, just a moment, there's an article I Googled, and I was quite surprised to see that in July 2016, the British government issued a report documenting cases directly related to violence against women in Afghanistan. And then it goes on to say that violence against women has been increasing in Asia. Most of the news talked about different gendered issues in Canada, but there were new highlights. Other parts of the world, including the Asia-Pacific region and countries like India and Pakistan, the issues covered included bullying and harassment of women workers, sexual assault and rape, honor killings, and other highly publicized and criticized incidents. So I know that you just returned from China, and you also did something for a brand in terms of protection videos and training. What's your view on what's going on in Asia, in the Asia Pacific region, and why self-protection is important?
Well, Bill, it is deeply Asia, and I think even if you take African continent, Asian continent, it is still huge difference in treatment between genders, different genders. The women are still, I would say, underrepresented and not empowered, and there's still codes of certain behavior that are really archaic and outdated. It stems from obviously religious and then the cultural beliefs. But I think the only people who can actually change this is women themselves. If they remain silent, the oppression will continue. Also, is educating everybody and the male population that at the end we are all just living beings. We are all humans. We all do our part in society. So because I have one set of genitals and one has the other set of genitals, it cannot make us different. We all do our part in society. We contribute. And I don't want to blame, everything is wrong with the male, etc., because there are some equally difficult ladies there. I just say, why don't we just live as a normal human beings? We are human beings first, and then everything else last. So educating people that really shouldn't be any difference in treatment of different genders is the way to go. It is not violence, because how then I put one type of violence bear another type of violence. I know because in my country, because of the civil war back day, I'm going to detour is if you go in my house and kill everybody, of course I'm going to pick up a gun and go and kill everybody in your house. It's just quite a nasty way of solving up the situation. But looking at the protection of ladies in Asia, well, just put self-defense classes in PE classes. But again, looking at polluting young minds, I will use word polluting, is we cannot teach now children violence and aggression. So that is another end of the stick of it. It's just teaching respect and tolerance in human beings being human beings equal, without calling somebody, this is because she's a woman, she's done that. This is it because the guy is, and he's done that. I don't know, I've always been very much friendly towards anybody. And then try to solve issues. I'm not an aggressive person. I embroider and I paint, but I do like the movement, and I do like solving out the issues, whether they are violent issues or they are body issues. I don't know if I got this right, if that my answer actually makes sense.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, now here's what's going to happen, Zorica. Individuals, you just said that you're actually a nonviolent person, and you're not that physical in that sense, but yet you're Krav Maga, okay? And then you started talking about you love the movement. So can you clear that up for everyone who's tuning in right now? Because some people may say, well, she's all about the violence and she's going to kick someone's ass and all that kind of stuff. But that's not what it is it? What is it? What's the heart of Krav Maga and what you're doing physically? Because people have this misperception that if you look strong, if you're doing these arts and whatnot, that you're a violent person. But that's not true, correct? Can you share with us about that?
You should see me in the heel. I love my heels. I'm a girl 300%, and my husband is completely losing it with all the shoes and dresses I have. No, I really don't need to have big muscles and look whatever. When I say the beauty of movement, that always fascinates me is executing any type of physical activity with the least effort and graceful. And I like because you delete completely any unnecessary movement. That's the reason it's so fast, is the reaction. It is taking the best one's body to protect oneself and time to master it. It's not art. We have Kung Fu masters and people training for 40 years doing all this. This is nice, reflexive movement of the regular human body. So I cannot 10 years old, 15 years old, or 30 years old fit male, or an older lady, or somebody who's got some injuries and some problems to do the same. It is the beauty of the movement of one you have in you. It takes out of one's capability. The 150 pounds woman doesn't fight as 80 or 90, or somebody who is like 200 pounds of muscle male doesn't fight a lot of running and weighs only 120 pounds and is fast. So it is adapt the skill to one's body.
So explain that a little bit more, Zorica, in terms of adapting the skill to one's body. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Krav Maga and what you're teaching in Hong Kong, you're actually teaching women to protect themselves from a physical level, right? As one of the parts. Now, of course, you're also instilling in them the positive mental aspect. So for everyone who's watching it out there, especially the women, what can you help us with Krav Maga? Explain to us why Krav Maga is probably one of the better self-defense arts as opposed to one of the other ones.
Krav Maga works, I would put it mildly, as I call it, a self-defense template. You know, humans are the only predators that have all vulnerable points displayed fully in front: the eyes, the nose, the throat, the groin, the joints, and then you go, the largest organ is the obviously your hearing. And now what we have, what women have, what guys have, what tools can we employ to actually defend ourselves? And with time training it, we have the hands, we have the heel of the hand, we have nails, we have knees, we have the heel, we have a teeth, pinch, we can scratch, we can. So I said, in any given situation, one can find at least one vulnerable point on the body, attack that point, and then continue with a counter attack, which is then attacking the face again and the groin. The follow through. But in any given situation, there is always one spot that is. Doesn't matter how a person really gets you, providing that you're not completely unconscious and wrapped up in a plastic bag. So that is what I say. When we come to the violent situation, and one fails to do preventions on the longer distance, and the person is on you, having the hands on you, there is always one point that one can attack. You will see what you got free. How many are your hands free? Are your teeth free? Can you move your head? Can you attack with the back of the head? Can you stomp the feet? Can you pinch? Can you scratch? Can you? Each of these small movements will buy you some time to develop the further counterattack in a violent situation. And ladies used to do that. I used to train, just to flash back, I had a music teacher from China. The lady was maybe about 4'8", tiny. I mean, weighs like 30 kilos. So we have this grading. She comes in, and there's 5 people around, and we're doing courage drill. She's coming and screaming, smashing everybody hard, bigger than a tiger. Absolutely awesome. And she was not an enormous person. She didn't have any huge muscles in there. Just a music teacher trying to defend her life. So obviously, in switching for Mr. or to an absolute dragon on the time when you have to defend your life. So we also have drills, which is, we call it on and off, which is on, relax and do the drills lightly. On the signal, we'll go and bind or executing certain defenses, depend how I put it. There's aggressor in it, you know, or a single attacker, etc. So that trains people when they're completely relaxed and just detour to completely different plane of action. I'm teaching my students to always get into the high level in type of stress, because we only have one life. And when you're training to defend oneself, we have that tool. This move I'm going to execute. And with that type of training, you learn to react to the violent action. The way you train is the way you're going to react. It's a muscle memory.
How long, Zorica, how long does all of that last? Because many women out there are very busy and challenged like you were. So are we talking about weeks? Are we talking about days? Does it take a lot of dedication and a lot of time out of our lives in order to be able to do the basic things to protect ourselves physically, in your opinion?
That is a very good question, Bill. And, you know, Hong Kong is really one of the big for the ladies, conduct 90 minutes basic intro courses, given them a template of reaction in a violent situation. It is based on prevention and then using what they already have on them. And I specified the tools, the heel of the hand, the elbows, kicking, etc. But if they want to do a prolonged sessions, like a top-up, you can have 3 hours on different times, so 1 hour. And then we also have of 10. So far, I 90 minutes for ladies who are going on business trips, who are going on holiday, girls who are going to study abroad in that might be dangerous, etc. And the feedback is fantastic because it is not overwhelming. We only teach them. The rest is preventions, common plate about vulnerable points and account. It is not complicated.
Great. So, Zorica,
yeah.
You mentioned just now, you were breaking up a little bit. So you said that it takes 90 minutes for some of your clients who are going away on trips and this type of thing. What do you mean? Do you mean it takes 90 minutes and they must do this several times a week? Or is that 90 minutes and they're ready to go and be able to protect themselves? Can you clarify that? Yes,
90 minutes is the base. And a lot of them are happy they don't need to return. If they think they are not completely ready, they can return for another top-ups, etc. But I said the 90 minutes proved to be really good. It's very effective. It is very empowering, because when you leave the class after 9 minutes, you said, "Oh, I did," and then you see, at the beginning they're meek and they don't know what's going on, and you have a smashing on of the goal. It is quite fantastic. It is actually all in the mind that they can do it. This is what it is. I was recently
explain that, Zarica, because that is key. Okay, you said that it's all in the mind, but we see people going all that kind of stuff. So, what do you mean it's all in the mind? Explain that.
Because trust me, I've worked with all to I cannot do anything. We haven't even started yet. To people who are already very aggressive. Oh, how am I going to do? I'm going to kick, etc. Now, when I'm saying is all in the mind, if you start any session, I cannot do anything. Oh no, of course you won't do. So whoever comes over is going to eat you alive. Okay, so just go there with an open mind, and of course you can. It's your life. Yeah, I don't you. Yeah, so it is all in the heart. I told you about the lady who's like 4'9", 8", etc., who was absolutely smashing all the big guys around. The bottle is packed up in a small bottle. So the poison is packed in a small bottles, as we say. But it is all in the heart. It's all in the mind. You have desire to get or whatever is that hits you alive, and that is already like 70%. Other thing is reaction, and you are there.
And
survival.
You also mentioned just now about how you teach basic prevention, things to look out for. This is beyond the physical aspects of it, correct? In that 90 minutes, what are some of the things that you could help women with today if they're not able to come to your class right now, to help them in a situation whereby they may need protection, to prevent that from ever happening? What would you tell individuals today?
Okay, excellent, Bill. I'm glad you asked that, because I was about to talk about it, but it's good that you brought it now. I would say historically, biologically, but women do have exaggerated that sixth sense of something being wrong or something quite right. Why? Because through development of the human being, the ladies already, of course, have babies. So the women are very finely tuned in environment and picking up the energy or bed for their offspring. And hence, the ladies have a better sixth sense than the guys. Sorry, guys. Now, talking about that, they did a research with a certain, the outcome was that about 85%, if I recall, of ladies, that something is off, that something is not quite right, and that about 70 didn't do anything about it. That means if you see that something is off, that you don't like the look of the guy, that you don't see that environment into which you are going, or that something is going around you, that have like a sixth sense of bad feeling, leave, do something about, shout, get a company, etc. It is exactly, if things look wrong, they are going to be wrong. So just leave. This is one of the things of fine-tuning have very much important. And I just going to be very fast, and we have an escalator in Hong Kong, and experiment with few of my students. And I said, look, just record how many times you're going there when you go on escalator, and then turn and see if anybody's looking at you. And trust me, there's like a 4 ladies said, yeah, I just suddenly had the urge to adjust my hair. And then I look and I see there's some guys are looking around. We do know, even I will tell you personally, I will kind of feel that somebody's looking at me. It is, some people have it more or less, but it is each time when you kind of fix your dress and get up and passing around the top, there is a voice looking at you. This is your pointer that I tell you feel.
So Zarica, is it right to say that one of the first points is to trust your instincts? Is that what you're alluding to?
100%. 100%. If it doesn't seem right, just leave. Because at least, even if it doesn't happen, you'll have all your body parts. So one of the things that we do a little for like deserted places, etc. Because the most of the sexual attacks are happening, most, like all of them, nobody around. They blame themselves. Oh, there is a wrong outfit I have, or I shouldn't have worn this dress, etc. It has nothing to do with that. For attack, there is a woman, she's alone, hence the guy goes in. Violently attack you. He might try to approach the woman with the soft words or whatever. I would say that distance, he is trying to get closer to the victim, either distantly or verbally, to gain in proximity.
Okay, so Zarica, wait, pause for just a moment, because you're bringing out a lot of really interesting stuff, and I'm sure people are. So let me just recap that part. First of all, you talked about women should trust their instincts. Now, then you said something about how when women are alone, that's typically where protection issues become more heightened. It's not about what they wear. It's not about their clothing and all this kind of bullshit that people throw out there. It has to do with this. And then you talked about proximity. So what would be your second lesson for women or us in terms of being alone in proximity? What are you trying to tell us there? Should we not be alone?
Okay, you see, you don't have a choice. You're waiting for a bus. Evening, there is nobody around you. I'm talking here not like an alone. It's just like alone might be, okay, I might be alone and there might be 5 people around me. You know what I mean? I'm talking here, there is nobody around. So, and then suddenly you see this dude coming over and he's checking up and moving around you, etc. I think that majority of the ladies will feel kind of uneasy because, you're alone there, is nobody's dark. Who knows when bus is going to come in, etc. And there is a dude there looking at you. You don't know what the hell is having in his mind. Maybe he's waiting as well. But how do I know that, etc. So it is observation. In these circumstances, I advise ladies, if you feel that there's something is off, because some person can give you bad vibes. Mind you, there's some nice smooth talkers, maybe guy look even handsome, etc. So they will kind of relax the guard. But I'm saying it is good that you have your phone with you and then you pretend even to talk on the phone, say, oh, darling, you coming in? Oh, wait for the bus to be around the corner. Are you close by? Is Bob and Bill with you or whatever? In general, it's just to try to see what is the reaction of this person who is also there. Now, I would not suggest that they actually get this guy or whoever comes over, be very close to them, because they can be grabbed from the back, from the front, etc. Especially if they're moving from the back or a side, etc. The closer they are, the more opportunity for a violent attack there is. If guys coming in, you move around or start yapping, pick up a phone and just keep yelling in it. But I say just to kind of tell him, well, I'm not alone here. I have somebody on the other side there, etc. If the guy is coming in very close, you have a right to your personal space, which is about half of an extended arm. Can you see my hand like this?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
The bend. So you just said, stay away. If you just feel it, please stay away. Very violently, strongly, etc. If he smacks your hand, that is the time to react. This is a time when you're going in straight for the face, straight for the groin, because there is no Miss Nice Girl. If you delay reaction in that point, you are going to be a victim of sexual assault. In case that this person really is not.
Zurika, hold on for just a moment. That's great. Okay, so let me just recap for everyone. Okay, we're talking about being instinctual. Trust your instincts.
Exactly.
If you feel something
100%.
that's off or whatnot, do that. Second thing is to keep moving and keep your distance. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Or to behave in such a way that the person that you don't want to be near you is looking at you and knowing that you're engaging with someone either on a phone or you're moving away. All right. Now, then you said if they do come and they do touch you or grab you, first thing to do is to either hit to the face or to the groin. Can you explain what you mean? In other words, teach us out here what is the simplest thing that we can do without having to go to class after class after class. And women who are out there right now, I mean, I'm sure there's probably women out there on their phones listening to you on their laptops, and they're at the airport. They're in a situation where they could be at the bus stop. And if an unfortunate situation should arise, what could they do physically right now, given that they've kept their distance, they use their instincts, but lo and behold, someone is engaging them? What could they do right now? You talked about head and groin. Can you explain a little bit more?
Okay, and I'm saying is, apart from maybe, oh, Zoe, you're teaching people they're going to start beating everybody who come close live. No. I'm talking about the personal space, which is within this length. Okay, so when your arm is bent at 90 degrees, etc. If somebody is approaching to you on the bus stop and you are alone and you feel uncomfortable, you have right to step back, insert this hand forward, and very loudly and aggressively tell him, go away, stay away. If the person doesn't have violent intention, he will probably say, oh, crazy individual, what did I do to you? Go away, what are you, crazy lunatic? You don't mind because you don't know that person. So you really don't care what he thinks. You want to have your peace of mind. If that person, however, slaps your hand or grabs your hand in that moment, that hand, the arm, this is your boundary. That is an opening for your counterattack. You have to do that because nobody has right to grab your hand or try to pull you. Because why would somebody pull you on a bus stop and grab your hand, a person who you've never seen in your life, and there is nobody around? So from that point, this is your signal for going into self-defense mode, which is attacking the eyes with the fingers or with the heel of the hand, attacking nose, placing the knee or the leg or the kick between the legs in the groin. Multiple times with screaming and yelling from the top of the lungs. Most women just shut down. They don't yell. You have to attract attention. Screaming, yelling, top of the lungs, fire, rape, fire, help. And I'm just saying, it's kind of hard sometimes to teach this to very well-behaved and civilized people, which we all are. Is swearing, is getting on the level of attacker. It is just shouting, go away, get out, using obscenities, because you have to really get on the level of this attacker. You have to be on his level. You have to go that low. You have to use a lot of language. You have to scream. Don't be quiet. You have to create a lot of waves there. Never be quiet. So
that's phenomenal. That's really phenomenal. Okay, so you said get on the level of the attacker. Scream, curse. Women out there and even people in general, are you listening to this? Because this stuff is really important, because this is about protecting our lives. And many times we, as Zurika just mentioned, we become subdued, right? We become quiet. Is that correct, Zurika?
Yes, and I had quite a few courses, and the hardest thing is actually to make women yell. And normally said, oh, women talk all the time. No, man, they're not yelling. They said, come on, get the hell. I said, you have to say, stay away. Really, shout up, go away. No, go away. I said, no, it's not funny. I know we're acting here, but you have to really switch. This is that aggression that has to swim out of you in the moment. of the attack. You have your life to protect. You don't have 9 lives like cat. You have one, and then there are kids and family, etc. So, you know, we have one shot on the earth, better use it wise. You know, whoever gives the right to anybody to extinguish your life, you have to think about that. It is most precious thing, you know, is the things to do, places to go. That's my take.
That's a beautiful take, because everyone, this is a BLB, this is Bill's live broadcast, and we're speaking to Zorica King, and she's talking about how women can protect themselves, the things to be wary of, the very simple, basic movements. And Zorica, what's beautiful about what you're saying and your take on it, as you say, is that even though you love the movements of Krav Maga and you love the movements of bodybuilding and strength training, I'm sure, and all these, it's not just about the artistic side. These can actually be used to defend ourselves if the unfortunate, unlikely event that something like this should happen, correct?
Completely. You got it right. I love how you sum it up. You know, I always go around. I talk too much, and you just sum it in one take because I'm a girl and you're a man.
Zorica, no, because you're the expert. I'm just here as the platform, because it's important for you to have this platform so that you can express this to people out there. Now, Zorica, you mentioned just now, you said to attack the eyes or to attack the throat or something like, or with to kick the groin. And please, people, understand that what we're doing is we're talking about, as Zorica has just mentioned, you have one life. You do not have 9 lives like a cat. I love that. That is so wicked. We have one life. Should something happen, we should be able to protect ourselves. And if it's a daughter like Zorica King's Amelia, right? We have to think about this as well, because what if someone is at a bus stop or by themselves with their daughter, then they have to stand up for them. Is that correct, Zorica?
Exactly. Exactly. You know,
Go ahead.
It is, you know, sorry, Bill, I'm interrupting you.
No, go.
What I experienced, and I'm always fishing for information. I'm always asking ladies who are coming in for courses if they had any experiences, somebody else had a bad experience, etc. And I'm saying what I gathered is that a lot of women end up saying, oh, you know, I didn't want to shout. I didn't want to be, you know, talking obscenities because I didn't want to appear to be rude. And I say, honey, but this guy is attacking you. You don't know him. You will never see him again. You think, you know, the being rude is an issue? No, you don't care what this person thinks. It is your peace of mind. And my information to ladies is, if you feel that your personal safety is in danger, you just go and hit it, darling, and you can shout to the sky while doing it. Perfect example.
Great. So if they're doing that, you said you should just shout to the sky and then just go for it and hit. Is there something that women should be careful of, or people in general, when they go out to hit? So that I know when I was learning some time back, we had to learn certain positionings of our hand and what to use if we're going for our eyes. How important is this? Is there anything that we need to be aware of if we're going to protect ourselves by striking out?
Okay. I train a lot of guys and girls, and trust me, what was funny is that even guys couldn't squeeze a fist, hands. We don't need to use the fist, okay? And especially ladies, and then you have a nice long gel nails that cost a fortune to fix up with little crystals, etc. So we don't do that. Okay, now what you can use? Heel of the hand. Okay, this part here, can everybody see me? This bit here, and then snap, poof. Fingers going eyes. You just keep them like a claw. You can also scratch, but I said it's better a sudden movement forward, because whatever goes direct, of course, is much stronger than it goes sideways. So even if I don't hit you, if I put my hand towards your eyes, of course, you're going to move the head back like that. So that's the one. So just attacking the eyes with the heel of the hand or with the fingers. There is no any specific technique. Yes, you just shove the heel in front, push the fingers. And for the neck, of course, you might need to use the knuckles or the front knuckle or it, but you can do the chops, etc. You can push the fingers in the groove as well. And obviously for the groin, is the knees and is the kicking. Hard against soft, baby. It always works. Feet, bite. The skin is biggest organ. It all works. Maybe I cannot use my hands. Maybe I cannot use my legs. But if my teeth are close to the skin, I bite, providing, again, the guy doesn't have a leather jacket or something, or, you need obviously bare skin to bite it, or very thin fabric to go through it. Shouting in one's ear. Maybe that is the position when one's head is close to the ear. That a huge audio feed into the ear obviously will affect the eardrums, and there's going to be movement of the head or releasing of the grab or a grip, etc. But it's going to buy you opening to do something else, which is then using the knee or maybe moving the elbow up, etc. So, there you go. Nice elbows, feet, fingers, heel of the hand, shoulders. I tell you, Bill, pushing a shoulder in somebody's plexus, solar plexus, is really nasty thing, especially if they have you in a guillotine position. Tried it all. It works.
For those people who don't know what a solar plex is, okay, it's that area right here, right? Is that correct, Zorica?
Good. Yes, I'm a bit low on the camera. Ooh, I'm up now.
Okay. Show us what the solar plex is. Yeah, okay. And that will incapacitate people, right? So doing that. So, folks.
It is building you out.
This is brilliant. Now, for everyone who's in here, and if you didn't catch what Zorica said, I'm going to write all of her points down, the simple secrets of protecting yourself should you get in the unlikely event where you have to protect yourself or your loved ones. I'll make a list of that afterwards so that you'll see it in her Facebook post, okay? Zorica, I know that we're going to be wrapping things up a bit because we've had you on for an hour, which has been absolutely amazing.
Oh my God, it's been an hour.
But it's been wonderful, okay? You just did a 90-minute explanation of how powerful you are, how powerful we can be, and we didn't pay a dime. Sorry about that.
I've always been a bad business. That's the reason I'm in fitness. I'm joking. Okay. So if you ask me why I left office, it is the freedom. I don't like to click the card. I meet new people. I have fantastic time with my students. And then through the classes, I meet amazing individuals. And obviously, you see, I wouldn't met you. I wouldn't met you if I was sitting in an office typing there endlessly, Actually, when you look at my trade is like more into accountancy and stuff. So you can imagine me an accountant. If it weren't for this nice social media, I wouldn't be even sitting behind a PC. It's only because I have to do Excel sheets for my invoices and a company, etc. I really don't like sitting down.
Well, that's great. And that's
nice sitting down chatting with you.
Well, it's wonderful having you here so that you can help. And that's what it's all about, folks. It's all about getting individuals on a platform where they can help us. And that's the whole key. It's not about talking about themselves, which was basically the premise behind Fitness Best Asia Awards. It wasn't about talking about how good me was. It was about how people affected people's lives. And Zorica King, who won the Fitness Best Asia Award for Best Personal Trainer, is one of those individuals. And for those people who are just chiming in right now, you can listen to the replay because there were some incredible lessons to learn here. Zorica,
thank you.
Just summing it up here. Okay, well, first of all, hold on. We have Lila. Did you read Lila's earlier note? Okay, I'll put it up here. Lila says,
Lila, thank you, darling.
Yes. And then she put up another one. Okay, she put up another one just now. I didn't put it up because I wanted you to finish up your lessons. Okay, such profound outlook. Very proud to be in the same mindset. It's wonderful. And Zorica, that's the kind of effect that you have over people. This is our first time speaking, and I can just feel it. I know that individuals who chime in right now and who follow you will gain something that they've never had in their life before, or if they did, they'll be better for it. It'll just improve that. So Zorica, how can people get in touch with you? How can they come and train if they want to? Because I understand that you're in Hong Kong now. Is that correct?
I'm in Hong Kong, and unfortunately for Hong Kong, I'll be relocating to UK now. I'm going to be living in London in a couple of months' time. But they can reach me on Messenger, Facebook, send a note, etc. So I can send them maybe their short video, etc. It is very simple to do.
Are you planning on
Skype training? We can do the online training, no problem.
Okay, Zorica, are you actually preparing to create a training video, or do you have an online service, or are you planning on doing something like that in the future?
Okay, now thank you to my daughter. She's a tech queen. I mean, she's born with computer instead of umbilical cord, with computer cable instead of umbilical cord. She say, "Mommy, you're too lazy. You should put a blog. You should put Instagram, etc." And Bill, I like to talk, but that all my life I've been a very modest person. I don't like to brag. It's all about things I put on a Facebook, and when look at the post, maybe it's going to lapse 6 months or 8 months that I put it. It's just very bad for this type of business because you have to be in there, etc. So I always worked on personal recommendation. I didn't even advertise. People always come to me, and for years. So I was just I need to do it, and it is in work in progress. But now I have to shift everything for England. It came in as my husband just got a new post. So one has to go with a man. Online training is working, but I said so far I can work through Skype or through the Messenger or any people. I like when people contact me. I like to give them advice. As you said, giving something back to community is very amazing feeling to have. Not everything is money. I'm quite happy where I am. We all have little, I would say we have plateaus, etc. What makes you happy? What is the life for there? Why are we here? And I say, is ever so much money you can spend? It's good to have it, deletes certain worries. But I'm just saying the beauty of teaching. I love it. All my life, I taught people something. And it's enjoyable. It is elating, and it's very good for one's ego because you passed it. So we're all earning the points in our karma for whatever transfer we're going to end up in whichever form and energy. Sorry, I might be a little bit weird here because I'm into the well-being and the mind as well. Okay.
Beautiful. It's perfect. Zorica, because that's you. You don't have to apologize for being you. Folks, Zorica King, she will be able to reach out to you even though she's going to leave us and go to the UK. Okay? And Zorica,
Bill, that was like a bomb, So I'm excited, but it is just different.
Yes,
we'll
but
be in touch.
And what I'll do, Zorica, is I'll help you actually get that in terms of virtually, because nowadays, as you said, technology will lend the opportunity to reach out to people. Even now, I mean, you and I are reaching out, and you're in Hong Kong and I'm here, and yet we're able to share these intimate moments and to learn things about how we can go ahead and live our lives fully. And that's what you've taught us. That in and of itself, Zorica, is indicative of the power of technology as long as there's a powerful person around it. And that's what you were. And so I really appreciate you coming on Bill's live broadcast today. We're going to let you go. Okay. And I'm sure folks out there, once again,
can
this
I just
is Bill's
say
live.
one more thing? Sorry.
Yes.
Can you sorry. Just one thing is I want to say that the perception of how old one has to be to train, what is allowed, what is acceptable, what 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 can do. That the boundaries have pushed so far. And I'm happy, and I saw Lila and I was like mind blown, and she's my inspiration too, saying that doesn't matter what age you are, do not comply with these restrictive, simple-minded limitations of, oh, you're old, you're this age, you cannot do this, you shouldn't be doing that. And I just say, keep moving all the time, because that is what we are meant to do. Humans are meant to move. Once we stop moving, we are going to die.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's it. Folks, as Zorica King just mentioned, age is no limit. just keep moving because that is what we were meant to do. That's beautiful. Zarica, thank you so much. And best wishes for you there in Hong Kong and your success and your trip back to the UK. Give Amelia our best because she has an incredible mother and we have an incredible person out there. And you, once again, folks, Zarica King is Fitness Best Award winner for Best Personal Trainer in the world, in my opinion. And regionally, that's what the award was for. Zarica, thank you very much. You take care.
Thank you, Bill. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, everybody who is listening to me, and I hope I can somehow contribute to your personal safety, if nothing else. Be there, move, be strong, stay safe. I love you all.
Bye-bye, Zarica. And folks, that was Zarica King. It's been absolutely wonderful. For those people who are catching this on the replay, you must go back to the beginning because Zarica King, she shared her life. She shared other people's lives. She shared how we can go ahead and make ourselves better, protect ourselves, all from a perspective of a human being, specifically for a woman, but it can apply to anyone. Tune in, take a replay look at it. Next week, we have Grace Sam coming on. We also have Jason Chi and Ben. So tune in here. You're going to get the announcements, folks. Thank you so much for following along. Share this, okay? Follow this because this is about you and how you can be a better person for the people who are better out there to give us these lessons. I'm Bill Calhoun. This is Bill's live broadcast. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.